Hey, dude.
Yeah. What? Bro, I got to rap on that one of these days.
Okay. Too late now.
And I'm rippity. I rhyme and I rap.
My name is Ryan, and I'm here to say
That I go spelunking like every day.
Bars.
Oh! Boom bap surprise! Oh! I don't go spelunking every day, and I won't. I won't do it.
You refuse?
I won't do it.
You refuse to splunk?
And I won't do it.
Spelunk.
What's up, man?
I'm chilling.
How are you?
My ears feel weird. I got different headphones on. Freaking out, man.
Bro, they look weird, man.
I'm freaking out, man.
You guys, Spencer's wearing, do you guys remember Walkmans? Spencer's wearing just like a set of those Walkman headphones.
Oh, I thought you meant like one Walkman on each ear. I'm just listening to tapes really poorly over here.
I pre-recorded
just taped it around my head.
Yep. I pre-recorded everything we're saying into 2 tapes, and then Spencer's just playing them into his ears, and he's recording his vocals over those.
Correct.
It's a fucking...
So if our timing is a little bit off, that's why.
It's because we're basically remote recording with antiquated technology.
No, I left my favorite headphones at the other studio the other night. I know.
You should beat that guy up.
Fuck that dude.
Fuck that guy. Just kidding. Can we talk about that guy? Did you talk about that guy?
No, but we can.
All right. It's okay.
I had a session with Sting the other night. It was lovely and a little bit silly.
Bro, that's so sick. Was he wearing a shirt with like 3 buttons undone on it? Because I feel like that's how Sting goes through his entire life, is just wearing button-up shirts, but like not just 2 buttons undone, like 3 buttons, like nipple height buttons undone on all his shirts.
He was wearing like looked to be a very fancy t-shirt.
I bet it was. I bet it was the most expensive t-shirt that you can literally possibly buy.
With a cool like loose collar thing that wouldn't look good on anybody else, but made perfect sense on Sting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sick.
Uh-huh.
Did he have any jewelry on?
No, he had like a light scarf on though.
Ooh, that's hot.
Uh-huh.
That's hot.
Uh-huh.
Did he record a cover of Bling Bling?
No, but I wish he would have.
Every time I write our colors, bling bling.
He came in and they were recording one song, and it was just him and his producer playing piano, like just piano and vocal. And they did 3 takes of it.
Sick.
His producer declared that he liked the 3rd one. Sting was cool with that. They came in the control room, and we started playing it back for him, and Sting was like, "No, I don't want to listen." And the producer guy, Rob, goes, "But you sounded great." And Sting was like, "Cool, then let's go."
God. Can you imagine
they were there for maybe half hour, 40 minutes?
I think like one of the most universal things that we have as humans, especially just from being like being in school where like you would do a thing and checking your work was an important part of doing things. And now in our professional lives where we're like, yeah, my career, like, you know, depends on whether or not I like get that number right or get that word right or like those things. Can you imagine being so good and so rich at something that you were just like
so rich at something,
so rich from something that you're just like, yeah, fuck it. Ship it. Just gonna send it.
I mean, also it's a matter of like, how many times has Sting cut a fucking vocal track?
Oh, of course.
Tens of thousands.
But the fact that he literally didn't want to hear it is pretty fucking phenomenal.
Also, if a dude who has produced for Beyonce, Stevie Wonder, James Taylor, John Legend, U2, and Bruce Springsteen says it sounds good, I'm going to trust him that it sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't need to hear that either.
Also, Sting was hungry. He wanted to go to dinner, which I totally understand.
Preach. Man's got to eat, bro. That's why he sang the 3rd one so good. He's like, if they make me sing more of these, I'm gonna fucking die of hunger in here. Mm-hmm. I'll be hangry as a motherfucker. I'm gonna eat this microphone.
He had a little bit of diva tendencies to him, but I feel like he's probably earned it.
Yeah, you're fucking Sting.
I had to walk from the control room to the vocal booth to turn his headphones up 2 notches at one point because he didn't want to do it himself. And he stood there and watched me turn his headphones up 2 notches.
I would have given him like a real hard pat on the butt after I did it. I would have turned it up and been like,
give him a good, firm, good game on the way out.
all right, buddy, go get him. Just hit him with that. And when you go back into the control room, bro, that would have been so strong.
I would have gotten my ass whooped
probably
by a man who's in his 70s, late 60s.
He's got to be. He's got to be 70s at this point. He's got to be 70, right?
I don't know.
Sting, he's been around for fucking ever, man.
First police record was like 77 or 78.
I mean,
he was pretty young though.
But still,
he might be like he's probably like late
52
60s.
years ago.
77 was 52 years ago.
Someone just made fun of us for being bad at math on this show. I'm gonna be honest.
He's probably like late 60s. He was probably in his mid 20s when that came out. Early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah.
Whatever. Either way, you would have whipped my ass.
Yes.
Which is not a good look for anyone involved in that session.
No, that's probably true. That's probably true.
You want to listen to a couple voicemails? We got some silly ones.
Hey, guys, if you want to give us a call at 612-246-4614, you could dial us up. You could make fun of us. You could tell us you love the show. You could tell us you hate the show. We're not going to play it if you tell us you hate the show, but you can. We'll listen to it.
If you do it in a humorous way, we totally will.
That's true. You can make episode recommendations. You could tell us you bought your tickets for our show in Los Angeles on October 30th.
Right. People get how telephones work.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check, guys.
Hello, this is Shelby, the person who does all your fan art. I was just watching this unexplained TV show on Hulu because I like dumb shit, obviously. And they have an episode that includes Tom DeLonge. And
wait, I'm sorry. We gotta pause. First of all, two things. One, what up, Shelby? Shelby's the one that does all of our fucking dope cartoons that we put on our Instagram, and they're in our Facebook group all the time, and they're fucking awesome. Shelby, you rule. Second of all, I feel like when Shelby said, I was watching this episode of Explained because I like dumb shit, comma, obviously, that is for sure a reference to our show.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys.
Is she wrong?
No.
Okay.
It was just such a nice sly dig on her way into her story. I like dumb shit. I mean, obviously, I'm calling you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I love you, Shelby.
We also love dumb shit. That's why we do this.
Preach.
That I hear you talk shit about him all the time. I'm like, haha, yeah, fuck Tom DeLonge. But I never really understood how fucking stupid he truly is. And I just want to let you guys know I'm on your team. I'm sorry if I ever doubted you because I Miss You by Blink-182.
Hey.
So, yeah, bye. Love you guys.
Love you too, Shelby. That is still a good song. I'll back you up on that. I have
nothing against Blink-182, the band, or even Tom DeLonge as a person. I just think the To the Stars shit is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I owned a Mark Hoppus series bass at one point.
Okay. Fucking no, you didn't.
In seafoam green, no less.
Oh, no, you didn't ever say that because I would have remembered that and not had this reaction at the time.
Well, I think it was ninth grade, probably.
I'm having palpitations.
I think it was ninth grade that I purchased that.
You had a seafoam green Mark Hoppus series. Who made it?
Fender P-Bass? P-Bass or jazz bass? Probably a P-Bass.
Oh my God, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you took to like all your gigs and played in bands and shit?
I didn't have it for very long.
Why? What did you do? Did you break it on stage?
No,
did you smash it?
It survived. I had a buddy who also played bass who thought he was like an even bigger Blink-182 fan and thought it was the coolest shit ever. So eventually I sold it to him and I bought a 1968 Gibson EBO, which was a bass I wish I still had till this day.
Oh, interesting.
But that's not really what we're here for.
What you meant to say was...
I used to fuck with Blink-182. Tom DeLonge is sort of a dumbass these days. What
you meant to say was, it's two basses you wish you still had.
Sure.
Yes, yes. You want them both.
Let's see. Oh, this is... one redemption story. We were right. You guys shouldn't doubt us. Redemption story part 2.
Okay.
Hey, guys. It's Bandit again.
Hey, Bandit, what up?
Calling to apologize to Spencer because
Dude, the Cloverfield Paradox is fucking trash.
Hell
That
yeah.
was not the movie I was talking about. And I probably sounded like a fucking idiot when I called in that one time. This movie... Why? I'm sorry. But that's all I had to say. I'm sorry. Bye. Love you.
Yo, love you too, man. Holy shit, that's so funny.
I don't know what movie she was thinking of, but
It might have been the
Redemption
original
Part 2.
Cloverfield, because the original Cloverfield kind of slapped.
yeah. Which is why I was excited for a version of that happened in outer space, and then why I was so disappointed when that movie was garbage.
Yo, I love that Bandit is just laughing throughout. Dude, this movie was trash. So good. That's so funny.
Yeah. All right, one more.
Awesome.
This one is long.
Okay. Here for it.
It's a two-parter long, in fact.
All right. I'm present and accounted for. I'm centering myself.
Guys,
Ready to receive.
I don't think we can fix it. There's a 3-minute limit. Sorry.
Just set the stopwatch on your phone as you start recording, and then just know, like, okay, and then I'm going to break it off right here, and then pick it back up.
Hey, what's up, guys? I can't think of a good fake name.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
Whatever. This is just a story. Sorry if I sound kind of out of breath. I was listening to your Patreon episode while I was running about DARPA.
I thought he was going to say that he laughed so hard he lost his breath.
Real quick. Last week we had somebody call us while climbing a mountain. This week somebody is calling us immediately after their run. Like, you guys can call whenever.
Bro.
Don't put yourself in danger, or like,
I don't think he was in danger.
I guess I'm referencing the mountain climbing group from last week.
We told them not to.
I'm just saying, take a seat, have some water, catch your breath.
Yeah,
we're not
guys,
going anywhere.
We're going to be here.
There's no rush.
Our voicemail inbox is going to be present and accounted for at any juncture that you decide to hit them numbers.
And I stopped forwarding it directly to my phone, so you're not going to wake me up or anything. It's chill.
Hey, did we ever tell the story about how one time it was forwarding to both our phones, and one time I answered a call from a listener while sitting in my office at work?
We did.
That shit was wild.
But yeah, that was a bad idea when we both had that set up.
And you answered it live sitting in the studio one time because you were like, I don't know, this number looks maybe familiar. Oops. Yep. Hey man, how are you?
Yeah. Anyway.
Actually, that's all we do. We just sit around and we look at our phones and we wait for you to call, and we answered 99% of the listener voicemails.
And I don't work for them. And
He's talking about DARPA.
Cool.
I haven't. But I know a few people who do, and who have done, kind of like, I don't know a good way to describe it. They're kind of like casting calls. Or like
that was a Patreon episode, wasn't it?
So we should pause really quick. Last week on the Patreon, we talked about this story that DARPA is looking for tunnels.
Yes. To use in experiments, and they needed one within 30 hours or something crazy.
Yeah, go join the Patreon and listen to it. We talk about it for 15 or 20 minutes. Or
just go look at DARPA's Twitter and you'll get the idea.
But they tweeted out a request for someone who had a series of tunnels with obstacles in a university or commercial area, and they needed it in 72 hours. And we discussed all of the fucking weirdness that ensued from that request. And this person who's calling is addressing that story.
Better word, where the government will put out requests and challenges for different technology demonstrations and different, I don't know what to call them, but basically the thing to remember about DARPA and other groups like it that put out these weird short-term requests for equipment and space, and just these creepy Twitter posts, is that a lot of times they're not looking for the best technology, or they're not trying to test something specific. Like, they're not bringing Boston Dynamics robots or new specific platforms to whatever underground parking garage they end up renting in Minnesota.
Keep that shit out of
What
our
they
state.
do, they look for creative demonstrations of current capabilities and creative innovations into new capabilities, which it's kind of hard to give you a good example. But the internet,
Okay.
for one, a lot of people know that grew out of a DARPA project to more efficiently and securely transfer information between different universities, government laboratories. Tor, which is one of the more commonly used encrypted web routers, is that grew out of the U.S. Navy DARPA project in 2002. And
Okay. Why do you need tunnels though? And why is there such a rush? I think those were the two things that were so weird to me. Like, I understand that they do a lot of different things and a lot of it is requests for innovative technologies, but why? It sounds like you got something very specific in mind if you say you need this type of tunnel in one of these locations in the next 3 days.
Right.
That doesn't really answer the most puzzling part of that to me.
Right.
Okay.
What's the second part?
Huh?
You said there was a second part.
Oh, of this, it's, I cut dude off because I didn't think that was really going where I thought it was going.
Is there another part?
Of the voicemail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to listen to
Well, I don't know. Maybe we didn't get there.
hey, it's me again. I was rambling. I got cut off. So that was it. That was all I really wanted to say.
All right.
But and I'll say, I didn't work for.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it. They do a lot of different shit, and it's not going to be apparent to us what they're doing. But I think you could phrase it a little less creepily. And if you were just looking,
Give me that total by tomorrow. Why? That's fucking weird, man.
A more general call for innovative technologies.
You guys are freaking me out.
That was a very specific and odd way to go about doing that.
I need 80,000 carrots in a dump truck by Wednesday night.
All right, let's talk about caves because caves are fucking bizarre.
I don't want to go spelunking.
This is freaking you out already just thinking about caves.
Bro, the fucking okay. Y'all,
I'm disturbed.
Yes.
I don't know why I decided to do this.
That's Loud Rob, and we love Loud Rob. I am disturbed. I don't know why I decided to do this. Y'all know at this point that I have an element of me that is a little bit claustrophobic, and I don't like being pressed on or put upon or
Nobody cares.
trapped. And this whole fucking episode is about people that fucking love that shit.
Hell yes.
Oh, God, it's the worst.
All right.
You guys are psychos.
The Longview Caves, Longyou. Longview.
Okay. Where are we going?
They're in China.
Okay.
And they, well, for a long time, people thought they were actually a bunch of ponds. So they look.
That's not a cave.
Well, if you fill a cave with water,
It's an
the
underwater
opening looks
cave.
sort of like a pond.
Oh, I see.
And there were a bunch of them within a relatively small area.
And when you try to find the bottom of that pond, what happens is you don't.
So they were called the bottomless ponds locally.
Damn.
And in 92, a farmer decided to drain one of them to see how deep it was.
Yo, can I tell a really quick story even though we just started?
Sure.
Okay.
We're 20 minutes in and we've said nothing about caves yet, but go ahead.
Okay. So I used to work in restaurants for many years.
Uh-huh.
And we had this sous chef on our line who was just an asshole, as a lot of chefs have the capacity to be.
Sure.
And his favorite prank to play on the new employees was, have you ever either in like a break room or job that you ever had seen one of those coffee makers where they have a big coffee maker and then it also like disposes hot water for tea or whatever, and then like you can make giant crafts of coffee?
Yes.
So he would always tell the new server or the new host or hostess that the one thing they had to do before they finished their first shift was empty the coffee maker of all the hot water. But what those new people didn't know is that the heating element is just woven through the pipe so that it just keeps pumping clean water and pumping out hot water.
Until the city runs out of water?
Until the city runs out of water. So there would be like 16 to 18 fucking trips to the back with multiple different pitchers, and they'd be asking him, and he's like, no, it's a big reservoir. We pour a lot of coffee here, and we just keep dismissing them until somebody was like, bro, it's fine. It doesn't run out. It'll never run out of water. And the first thing you said when you said they tried to drain the pond, the farmer tried to drain the bottomless pond, I was like, it's one of those, wasn't it? He was like, 70 years later, I'm going to get to the bottom of this motherfucker.
He drained all the water from the planet. He was actually successful, yeah.
Oh, he made it.
So he pumped out, it was more water than he thought it would be, but he managed to pump all of it out over a couple days. And when he emptied all of it, he realized that the pond was not a pond, but a cave.
Okay, sure.
That went down about 100 feet and had like a pretty narrow opening at the top, but then expanded underground.
So to clarify, it was sort of like an hourglass shape, like opened into a pond and then funneled into a small opening and then opened back up?
Like the surface area of this pond was pretty small.
Got it.
So more of like a bottle shape. Like a narrow opening at the top and then widened underground.
So it was more like a puddle.
Sure.
Well, you're saying it's a really small opening. Like,
I'm not saying like it's 3 feet across, but like it got wider as it went underground is all I'm saying.
It got way bigger under. Okay. Correct. I thought you meant it was like 5 or 10 feet across.
I don't know the exact size.
Got it.
But it went down about 100 feet and the inside area was about 11,000 square feet. So pretty big. Yeah.
Okay.
And after he did this, his neighbors decided, well, maybe we should drain those ponds that are on our property.
Kill the ponds! All the ponds! Kill them all!
And they found within a square kilometer, so a little over a half a square mile, not a huge area.
Okay.
They found 36 of these caves.
Were they all connected? Was this like a network?
They were not connected.
Oh.
But they were set into a very small area, considering it's 36 caves that average about 11,000 square feet inside.
That's kind of why I was asking if they were connected, because I would assume the bottoms would be touching somewhere.
But some of them were most of them are very close together, and some of the walls are only like half a meter thick between two of the caves.
How does that even happen?
Well, they're man-made.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
So they've been dated to around 200 BC, roughly, but it's hard to get an exact date because there's no historical record of them being built. And like Chinese records go back farther than most places.
They're way older than we are.
And there's no evidence of them being used for anything. There was no one buried in there. There are no remains. There are no signs of mining. And there's no trace of anyone having ever inhabited them.
Okay, that crosses most of my first three things. The only other thing I was going to say, because I was thinking like, okay, it's a tomb or it's like cave housing, like in the Southwest of the United States where they like would dig caves into,
it was usually in the cliffs too, rather than fully underground.
Right, but like conceptually the same thing. Yeah. The only other thing I could think of would be like storage, like for grain or rice.
You would think there would have to be some evidence of that also, though.
True. And also, that's fucking huge.
Yeah. And
you said 36 and they were all roughly that same size?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
Yeah. They also, some of them include multiple stone-built rooms, pillars, and they have decorations on the walls of them too, like carvings and stuff.
Oh, so they'd be hanging out down there.
I mean, somebody obviously was because they built them, but there's no evidence of like, if people were living down there, there would be evidence of like, well, evidence of people living. There'd be food remnants. There'd be waste. There'd be smoke from, you got to like cook and have heat and stuff. And there's none of that.
I was just envisioning a world where it's just one guy who fell down there and he was like, help!
So he carved a bunch of shit in the walls, and it happened in all 36 of them.
Guess I'll draw some pictures. I'm so bored.
There's also, in all of the caves, from floor to ceiling on all the walls, these parallel lines that have been chiseled. So they're basically like grooves, parallel grooves cut vertically in all the walls.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Long U.
Yeah. Which I
How
would
deep
imagine
are the cuts?
an inch or two. They're pretty shallow.
Okay.
Which I would imagine, though, 2,000 years ago was not easy to do because you weren't machining it.
No.
Or if you were, it was a very primitive form of machining.
I'm also, you said there are 11,000 square feet. That would be
It's a whole lot of surface area.
That'd be a ton of surface area to go from. Well, how deep were they? Did it say how deep they were?
The caves?
Yeah.
About 100 feet.
So it's 1,100 square feet from an actual like base mass, and then they go 100 feet up to a smaller opening.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all of them were like ribbed like that.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And especially if you consider it was done at least, they are estimating it was done at least 2,000 years ago. I don't know what that estimate is based on, though. If you don't have any historical records, you don't have any artifacts associated with them.
Sure.
You can't really date the stone itself because it's
that's
obviously much older than that.
Right.
So I couldn't find what that estimate is based on, but that is reported consistently as the age of them.
Interesting. There's got to be a way to like. Yeah, I'm not going to expose my idiocy further than I already have on this.
It's also weird to think about, like, these must have been plotted very carefully and very intentionally. If you're fitting that many onto that small of a footprint,
yep,
with sometimes only or on average about 1.5 feet of rock in between the walls of them. Like, as you're digging down, you have to be very precise to not ever break through those walls.
Yeah, because not only is that like
and to get all these to fit into that smallish space.
Right, because not only is that like we fucked up our bottle shape, but that's also like jeopardizes the entire structure at that point.
Yeah, and these relatively thin walls have survived for 2,000 years.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing about the grooving shit too is like there's no, I mean, not that I can think of off the top, there's no like conceivable, like why is that?
There's no why for any of this. That's the weirdest part.
Sure. I mean, like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I guess I could see how, like, I don't know, maybe
that was just wallpaper 2,000 years ago.
But like, maybe it's like, okay, maybe these are underground, like wheat and grain and rice storage silos that, you know, like, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but like, maybe it's something like that. But the decoration shit and the painting and like the grooving kind of feels like that would totally be irrelevant.
Yeah. And there would be other evidence of, or there'd be like other examples of people storing things that way, right?
Yeah, like you would see this in other communities and shit you're saying?
It also seems like an unnecessarily complicated way to do that, because one other wrench to throw into this mix, it's estimated that about 1 million cubic meters of rock and dirt would have had to be removed in order to create these caverns.
Damn, son.
And from that, it's been estimated that it would have taken 1,000 workers working 6 years straight, like every day, to complete that. So this thing was not built quickly.
This is some like Great Pyramids shit.
Yeah, sort of.
No, I mean, not actually, but like it's that, it's the equivalent of one of those giant, like.
Somebody was very dedicated to making these.
Yeah, or generations worth of work were potentially put into this.
Yeah, either a lot of people were very dedicated to doing this,
or some people were dedicated for a long time.
Yeah. So it doesn't really make sense to me that you would go through all that trouble to store food because in the meantime you're missing out on a decade's worth of crops.
Yeah, right. Because you're doing something else.
There are probably better ways to do it.
Is there no fucking answer to this thing? They just have no fucking idea?
There's not a publicly known one.
Damn.
Or a consensus one, at least. I couldn't even really find any good speculation on what it is.
They're just like, oh, it's fucking weird.
Well, and they weren't discovered until, the last 25 years.
Bro.
So there hasn't been a whole lot of time to study them either. And I'm not sure that it's China too. So we don't get a lot of information over here.
Sure. And the information we do get could be manipulated in X, Y, or Z ways.
Yeah. I'm just saying, the Chinese government maybe knows what they're for, or Chinese academics and scientists maybe know, but
they don't care if we know.
I couldn't find anything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild, man. I think it's crazy too. One of the things about in a couple of things I looked at for this episode, it's crazy that a lot of these caves that we have found or find, a lot of them are old, but not that old. The caves themselves are not old. When we found them was not that long ago. Some of the bigger cave systems.
I'm not following what you mean.
Some of the bigger cave systems we've found have been in the last 200 years.
Oh, yeah.
Or 300 years.
Or in 1992
in 1992.
Yeah.
And we're talking about cave systems that have been developing underground for some of them from the natural ones, some of them millions of years.
Literally forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy to me that we're finding things in the last couple hundred years that have been around for millions of years underground and are vast tunnel systems and vast cave systems.
That's maybe the weirdest part about all this to me is how little we still know about just caves in general, and especially how they connect and relate to each other.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
No, just if you look at a list of the, let me pull up the old wiki real quick.
A
list of just the
beasties?
The longest cave systems, in the world.
Bro, if I had my notes up, I'd have you right now.
It's okay. The longest one is Mammoth Cave in Brownsville, Kentucky. It's 400 miles long.
That's stupid.
It's real big. And we don't necessarily know if that connects to other systems. Because it's really hard to explore 405 miles of a cave system completely.
In the goddamn pitch black.
Yeah. And also, there's not a lot of great reason in a, at least in an economic sense to do it.
Right.
So it would be purely academic most of the time.
Right.
And then you're going to get funding for this sort of dangerous mission to do what exactly?
Right.
And what results are going to come from it?
Right. And aren't one of the things I think I saw was that a lot of these, as soon as they're found as systems, they're either put in or are often found in protected lands. So it's it's not as in if they find a massive cave system, they immediately protect it. So it can't just be we'll just mine the fuck out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
So it's to your point, there isn't a financial gain of spending all the money that it takes to go be oh,
right.
Fuck it, let's go 3 miles under the earth and see where that goes.
Yeah.
But
or
it's
Jewel Cave in South Dakota is 200 miles long.
Jewel Cave, Juul?
Yeah.
If you have a big enough mouth,
that's what the ancients used it for. They just filled the whole thing with fucking cherry berry nicotine juice.
If you got a big enough mouth, you could put it around the cave hole and just rip that cotton, bro.
Instantly die of nicotine overdose.
Just fucking 19
what a way to go.
million gallons of nicotine air.
One time I went on a real bad internet trip.
Okay.
Reading about what happens if you OD on caffeine.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could.
Yep.
I imagine you just have a heart attack and die.
You more have a panic attack that kills you.
Ugh.
Yep.
I've had those before.
For a while, you could buy. It was really easy to buy like concentrated powdered caffeine.
Absolutely not. That is the fucking no. Yep. Absolutely not.
And I think most places have cut down on selling it, but like you could get it on Amazon for a while.
Fuck off.
And now you probably just have to go through some Chinese distributor. But yeah, there were like kids dying from it because and be like, oh, I'm gonna put 6,000 milligrams in this cup of water and drink it.
Oh,
sorry.
God.
Back to other different things that freak you out instead.
Yeah, why not? Let's keep on it.
All right. Do you want? I just went in a bunch of different directions of like freaky underground shit.
Aliens. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I got a little bit of that.
You gonna get there?
I got a little.
I mean, I'll take any direction you got, man. I got a little bit down the deepest caves thing, which is pretty crazy. It's different than the longest caves thing, but it's still pretty crazy.
Okay. I also went in the just straight up deepest hole into the. How far have we gone into the earth artificially?
Oh, geez.
Which is a thing I want to get to at some point because I made a crazy Google Earth discovery about it just a couple hours ago.
Okay, let's finish on that. That sounds like a good finishing point.
Weird haunted caves, and then we'll work our way up.
The deepest hole sounds like a good finishing point. Go ahead. Nope. Go ahead. Just move on. Move on.
Heck.
Okay. Mount Pentelicus is a mountain near Athens, Greece. And there's a cave at the near the base of this mountain. And the cave goes in about 200 feet. But then at the back of this initial cave, there's a tunnel system that goes to a bunch of others.
Okay.
So there's one main entrance that then branches off into others that we're not really sure how far or where they go.
Can I ask a question?
I might not have an answer for it, but go ahead.
I don't think I understand the difference between a cave and a tunnel.
Don't know.
Okay.
It might have to do with there being an opening to the surface.
But doesn't every cave eventually have to have an opening to the surface?
Yeah. So I'm guessing, speculating.
Mm-hmm.
The initial segment that has an opening to the surface is a cave. Offshoots of that do not open to the surface are underground tunnels.
Okay.
That would be my guess, but I don't know for sure.
You know what I love about our show? We have enough listeners at this point.
Somebody will correct us.
Every time we say something dumb, someone's like, "Oh, you obviously need a geologist," and I've been listening to your show for a long time.
That's why I don't worry about it too much anymore. That's not what we're here for.
Because you guys are our family that fixes our dumbness.
I'm here for things like, according to legend, one of those tunnels leads to hell.
Sick.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Italy?
Greece.
Ancient
Greeks thought that one of these tunnels went to hell, and you just if you traveled just right or just wrong, I guess.
Let's go.
In
field trip.
Yeah. So this cave is called Davelis. Davelis.
Devils?
No. Well, maybe Davelis. I'm going with Davelis. No Daves are allowed in the cave.
This is a Daveless cave. Get out. Hey, get out of here, Dave.
In April of 1977, there was a couple who was hiking near the mountain and cave, and they saw a car that was up on a little outcrop of rocks on the mountain.
Okay.
Where there were no roads or even paths, really. Just a car sitting on top of a bunch of rocks on a mountain.
Dave! Dave, how'd you get up there, Dave?
So they came back the next 3 days to see if this car had moved or if they should alert someone about there being a car stuck
Call the
on the mountain.
authorities.
Yeah, and it was still there all 3 days. So on the third day, they climbed up to where this car was, and it was empty. There was no one in it, but the car was totally intact.
Okay.
So someone had clearly not driven this 4-door sedan up the side of a mountain.
Up a mountain? Yeah.
And it was a winter, and there was snow around the area where this car was. And they found unusually large oval-shaped footprints about 1 meter long or all around the car.
Sick.
Yeah. Bigfoot stole a car.
No, dude. When you said oval-shaped footprints, the first thing I thought was
snowshoes, because that makes way more sense.
I didn't think that either, actually. I thought about the AT-AT walkers from Star Wars and figured it was like alien robots.
Like that car is a transformer and it's sentient?
No, like there were sentient alien transformer vehicles around it that put it there or picked it up from there or something.
I had sex with a mountain climber who's also a sentient sedan.
By Chuck.
A Chuck Tingle story.
A tingler, a true tingler.
So they get up to this car and they're like, what the fuck? There's a perfectly intact car on the side of a mountain. There are weird footprints around it. And
this is a great story. I like this story.
Cool.
I'm into it.
It's this couple, and the woman goes to look just in the area surrounding the car. And there's this little, I don't know, like boulder thing. Like a group of boulders kind of just on top of each other.
Sure. As you would on a mountain, I guess.
Yeah, right. And she looks behind them and starts screaming and says she saw a, quote, hideous white creature.
Uh-oh.
About 60 centimeters tall with two huge oval-shaped eyes.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
And her husband, who was several feet away, saw the bushes that she was like near shaking as if there was something moving inside of them.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. They ran their asses back down the mountain as quickly as they could.
Fuck yeah, they did. They should have gotten in the car and drove that motherfucker just down the fucking mountainside. Need the fuck out of here.
They came back a couple days later just to, I don't know, see if they could figure out what the fuck was going on with the...
Hey, devil alien? Are you still here, devil alien?
They come back.
Bro, devil alien, put it on the list, man.
Hell yeah. The car was still there. And this time the husband saw a large dark sphere that looked like it was made out of black smoke spinning at a high speed emerge from the car.
Bro, what in the fuck is this story? What are we talking about?
He saw the smoke monster from Lost turn into a sphere and come out of the car.
Wait, where is this from?
You know, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think I can probably source it real quick. Hold on.
Is it a blog spot?
No, it's I found it on a Brett Swanker
is funnier.
Mysterious Universe article.
Sick.
Let's see what he's quoting, because they often just sort of repackage things.
Source it. Source the source.
Let's see. If I search this article for smoke monster, will I find it? Oh, okay. This is coming from a book called The Riddle of Pentelli by George Bolanos.
Dope.
Written in 1982.
Okay, and what year was this fucking crazy car story happening?
1977.
Cool.
Yeah. So the smoke monster thing comes out of the car, and he claims that while he was looking at the smoke monster thing, he felt as if something were, quote, trying to enter his mind.
Lit.
Yeah. And that's the end of the story.
And they were never heard from again.
So there's a haunted cave with a tunnel to hell that spits out cars driven by smoke monsters.
Bro, what?
Who invade people's brains.
Bro, what?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
What?
Towards the end of 1977, the cave was closed to the public by, quote, the military, which I'm assuming is Greek military, but also I think there's a NATO presence near Athens.
Okay.
Not clear.
NATO's not, well.
There's just a lot of vagities in all of these stories.
Sure.
This is from the same book
Got it.
that we just referenced. They allegedly brought in bulldozers and heavy machinery and started blowing up parts of the cave, allegedly in an attempt to expand the cave network, or maybe like create connections between parts of the cave.
Did they stick the car in the cave, or did they take the car out of the cave? Unclear.
Well, the car thing happened before the military got there and started blowing shit up. So I think the smoke monster manifested a sedan.
Oh, as in the sedan was no longer present.
Oh, by the time the military got there?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the car was gone by then, but it doesn't say specifically.
Well, where'd it go, though?
I don't know.
Well, maybe they did drive it down the mountain. That's why it wasn't there anymore. They had to get the fuck out.
The project, so it was closed to the public from 77 until 83. And in 83, whatever the military or whoever it was doing there stopped. And they left.
All right.
And they still had it fenced off, but no one was there enforcing anything. So people started going in and looking around.
Right.
And they found inside that they had started building like new structures inside the cave and pouring new concrete and creating walls and supports and things. They had destroyed. There were pre-existing structures in parts of the cave.
Oh, okay.
That had been destroyed in this process.
We must destroy to rebuild.
They left a lot of construction half finished. Like there would be half of a wall built that was just left untouched. They had dug and carved deeper into some of the tunnels, but then just stopped at a dead end. Some other sections had been recently sealed off, as if they had dug deeper, reached a certain point, and then created created an artificial seal at that point. Yeah.
Bro, dope. Too many demons, too much hell. We don't want to go that way.
They had also left some machinery, like bulldozers and shit, just in the cave.
What?
So they apparently left quickly, is I guess what I'm getting at. They also found a large stash of drugs.
Look,
which probably was not related to whatever military activity was happening, but you never know.
If I'm carving a highway to hell, I'm going to need to be pretty fucking high to do it. I'm just saying. Hey, bro, we'll give you $24 an hour. You got to be banging this sledgehammer. And
here's
also,
an unlimited supply of morphine.
Also, you're going to need fucking meth to get your way to the demons and or away from the demons.
I'm sure you can smash demons with a sledgehammer a lot faster if you're on meth.
Yeah, that's like some fucking...
Dang, that's just science.
That's just science. That's Mario with the hammer shit, just like ding, 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 just cleaning house, bro.
Hell yeah.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. What a wild-ass story.
Perhaps the weirdest thing that was found inside the cave after the military left.
Oh, we're not even there yet.
Well, we're almost there. It's the last little thing. There was concrete poured along the floor of one of these tunnels.
Yes.
And it had been poured up to a dead end. Okay. So you have concrete starting at a certain point on the floor, like a sidewalk essentially.
Yep.
Poured lengthwise through this tunnel, and then it just stops at a wall at the back of the tunnel. However, there were footprints into the concrete as if someone had walked on it while it was still wet. And they go towards the wall, the dead end at the back.
And then they stop. That's dope. I fuck with that. That's just a cave-in though, right? Like it looks like it was poured in that way, but they just poured something and somebody walked on it and then it caved in around it.
Maybe, probably.
Or this story is just designed to be creepy and weird, but isn't really true at all.
Well, I mean, that's the most likely explanation with all this shit. But,
I mean, it's a cool, it's like well done. It's a cool story. It's a weird story.
Lastly, a lot of people have painted occult imagery onto the walls, and several slaughtered dogs have been found within the cave.
Don't.
Yeah.
This is Dad Dog's ghost blog, and we won't fucking stand for it.
Dad Dog. Yeah.
You take
I like that one.
I don't like that one. You take that shit to another show with your fucking dog hating.
All All right, you want to talk about the deepest caves, and I'll talk about boreholes, and then we'll get the fuck out of here?
Okay.
All right, tell me about deep shit.
Uh-oh, BRB.
You gotta get your notes.
I didn't know I was getting called on. Teacher, I'm sorry, I didn't have my book open.
Let me see if I got any other one-offs.
Teacher, I didn't have my book open. I'm sorry.
DARPA's fucking with caves while you're getting your notes out.
Of course they're fucking with caves, dude. You know what I think one of the craziest things about caves in general is, not craziest things, but I think one of the reasons I think they're so like attractive and interesting is because they have this capacity of it's this native disguise, this native anonymity to them where they can be vast and expansive and intricate and strange and hidden.
It's like why the bottom of the ocean is so scary.
Yeah, but this one is somehow different because it's more accessible, even though, of course, underwater caves are a very real thing.
Ooh, those are the worst kind.
Oh, God.
I'm going to freak myself out if we talk about those.
If
so
you thought
we'll leave that for another podcast.
Yeah, if you thought my fucking claustrophobia was bad with underwater and with fucking caves, when you throw them into the same pot and stir it up, you know it's bad. Yeah, I think that's part of what's natively interesting about them is that they have this element of disguise baked into the concept.
Yeah.
So
they're inherently mysterious.
They're inherently mysterious because the surface looks normal or the surface is just an opening, and then it's like,
bam, we got dead dogs down here.
Oh, JK, we got dead dogs down here.
Ghost blog.
Oh, sad.
Makes more sense though, honestly.
Remix. But it's like 400 miles deep. Yeah, hell no, indeed. But it's like 400 miles deep, you know, and it's like, what the fuck?
400 miles deep?
Not deep, but long in that situation.
Yeah, that boy big.
Fucking preach.
Just gonna hit buttons until you pull your notes up.
So the cave that I was referencing in depth is the Veriovkina cave.
Sure.
Guess where it is?
Russia.
Veriovkina. Hello.
Did you see we got an email that just says Ryan's shitty Scottish accent?
I fucking sure did see that email come in.
Send us one that replaces the word Scottish with Russian, please.
And I said, hey, you know what? You're absolutely correct. It is a shitty Scottish accent, and I don't care. In mother country, we have big cave. I won't.
Bark, Bjork, bark.
So, this cave, in 1968, it was assigned the name S115, which is a boring name.
Sis.
They later called it P1-7, also boring. And then in 1986, it was renamed after a famous caver, spelunker, and or cave diver named Alexander Veriovkin.
Alexander very often goes in caves.
This cave is, its entrance is situated 7,575 feet above sea level. It's actually in Georgia, not Russia, but the name is Russian because the guy who explored is Russian.
Country Georgia?
Yes, in Abkhazia, Georgia.
Okay.
The opening to the cave is only 9.8 feet by 13.1 feet, and it's in the Gagra mountain range.
So there's a big hole that goes into a mountain.
Yes.
Or a hole the size of this room that goes into a mountain.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
There is a thing called Perovo, which is a speleo club.
Don't know what either of those things mean.
Speleo club is a single word for a spelunking club.
Ooh, right. I probably could have figured that one out.
They're from Moscow, the Perovo, which is again a speleo club. And from 2000 to 2015, Perovo continued their research at the cave's bottom after they found this hole on the top of this mountain, and they got all the way down to 1,450 feet.
Wait, from the opening?
From the opening that was 7,000 square feet, or excuse me, 7,000 feet above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
They got roughly 1,400 feet down into this cave.
Okay.
From multiple expeditions of research that occurred between the year 2000 and 2015. You with me?
I think so.
In August of 2015, more spelunkers from Provo discovered a new shaft in this cave and pushed it down another 512 feet.
Okay.
In June of 2016, they were able to continue finding new shafts in this cave that went into this mountain that took them down 2,070 feet.
Did they know that these things existed? I mean, I guess you could assume if you start at elevation of 7,000 something, you can probably keep going down a ways.
I think the idea was every time they went down, they were able to sort of like plant a marker and go, okay, we know it goes down at least this far. Next time, let's get to our marker and then see how much further it goes.
Okay.
I'm going to fast forward a few years of continued expeditions that happened to the beginning of 2017. They reach the depth of 1,832 meters into this cave, which is
5,500 feet or so for our American friends.
6,010 feet,
or that.
You were hey, that's a pretty good estimate for us. I'm on board with it. Which at that point in February of 2017 made it the second deepest cave in the world after the Krubera or Voronya cave.
Can it be a cave if it's just a hollow mountain?
Well, it's not hollow though.
But
Go ahead.
It's not underground in the way that we traditionally think of a cave being underground, right? Because you're starting at a relatively high elevation.
You're saying because it's above sea level?
Yeah. Even when they've gone 5,000 feet down, they're still 2,000 feet above sea level. It's just different is all.
Like I hear
I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just not how I would generally think of a cave working.
What else is it then?
No, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying. It is still just these deep caverns in rock, which is essentially what a cave is. It's just that the rock got pushed up, but it's still what it is or what it would have been, I guess. I
guess all I'm saying is those guys went 5,000 feet down and they're still farther from the center of the earth or from the hollow earth than we are right now.
You called it the hollow earth, guys?
Dude, I prepped so much hollow earth shit that we may have to do it on the Patreon this week or something.
For this episode?
Yeah, dude. Where do you think the caves end up, bro?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, we don't have time. Look, we don't have time.
Patreon. I'll talk about the hollow earth bullshit.
Are we doing a two-parter on caves?
No.
All right, we'll talk
We're
about
only this late because we wasted the first 20 minutes. It's fine.
We didn't waste it, guys. We had fun together, and that's what we do here. In the second half of August of 2017, Provo finally reached a depth that set a new world depth record for caves in the world at 7,231 feet and identified it as a huge system of more than 20,000 feet of sub-horizontal passages.
Sub-horizontal?
I don't know what that means. My guess is it means that there are like jut outs that when you total all of the jut outs from, as in we kept finding the thing that went lowest, but then in the process we found this network, this spider web that shot out but then stymied us.
Okay.
But if you total up all of the sub-horizontal tunnels that come out from the main one that's taking them all the way down, it adds up. Are
you saying, I guess I'm just getting caught up by the word sub-horizontal.
I get it. I don't understand what it means technically.
Is it saying sub as in secondary to the main one and they are horizontal? So there's one shaft that comes down and then others that spread out horizontally from it?
That's the way That's the way I understand it. If you look at the image here, I'll pull up this image.
I was originally thinking it meant below horizontal, and that didn't make sense to me.
So if you look at this image, it's a little hard to see.
You're showing me like a graph.
It looks like a graph, but it's a distance graph, and as it goes down, you see there's all these little jut outs that are like stymies.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and then
off
there's
of
like
one main. Okay.
all this stuff
So once it gets down to that 7,000 feet, then there are other offshoots
that go left
don't
and
go
right.
deeper, but spread out.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Your graph was very helpful. Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome.
Less so
because
for our listeners, but hopefully we conveyed it accurately.
Yes. Yeah, in March in 2018, another expedition added more than 1 kilometer of tunnels to the continuous ongoing cave map. And at that point, identified the total cave depth at 2,212 meters or 7,257 feet below the initial opening to the Veriolfkina cave.
This may be a dumb question.
Do it. I probably won't be able to answer it. Do it.
Are there pressure concerns after a certain depth? I mean, those guys were still roughly at sea level, but if you go thousands of feet into the earth, do you encounter any of the same issues that you might at lesser depths underwater? Like, how deep can you go into the earth before you run into some sorts of issues?
Well,
you got oxygen and stuff down there?
The oxygen thing is my primary question, and I've thought about,
I guess, yeah,
throughout this whole
pressure
conversation.
would not really be the issue, but
the pressure that you're experiencing underwater is just because there's water.
No, I realize that. I guess I meant in the way that you are limited in how deep you can go into the ocean because of pressure.
Yes.
Are there factors that limit how deep you can go into the earth, such as lack of oxygen?
I think oxygen would have to be the primary one, because I don't know how air even gets down that far. Does air get down that far? Is that a very dumb question?
It wouldn't be circulating in the same way.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's like no way for, and that's the thing that I don't understand. I think it's also
that is a dumb question with a probably long answer that we're not going to get to.
I was just going to say, I have to imagine too, that's why we don't find a ton of life forms down there, because there's no sunlight, and there
are some that only live down there. Did you find any of those guys?
Bro.
Bunch of blind lizards and shit.
Planet Earth, man. The Caves episode of Planet Earth is fucking rowdy. Rowdy.
All right. Last thing.
Are we going to the man-made holes?
Yeah. Well, mostly one.
Singular.
The Kola Super Deep Borehole.
Kola?
Kola. You need your computer for one more minute.
Okay.
Go to our Twitter real quick.
Okay.
And click on our most recent tweet that's just a Google link.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a hole in the very...
There's a hole in the bottom of the lake. Blah, 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 blah.
Pardon me?
Sorry, go ahead.
The very northernmost tip of Russia, right where it borders Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Way the fuck up there. Yeah, so
bro, you
if you go to our Twitter and click the link that is just a Google link with no explanation, you'll see what Ryan is seeing right now. Bro, it's just the coordinates to a Google Images or a Google Earth thing.
Shout out to Eliz75 on Twitter. You just posted the coordinates to this Google map at 4:12 p.m. today, and Davis just wrote, "Y'all good?"
and I said, "Yep."
And he said, ... All right.
So the Soviets attempted to just see how deep they could drill into the earth. And their goal was to get to 49,000 feet down.
This is like really zoomed in. I feel kind of freaked out.
Okay, so if you...
is this like a street view thing? Oh, yeah, oh, it is a street view thing. Oh, jeez.
So they were trying to see how far down into the earth they could get, and if they could get into the Baltic Shield continental crust.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. They weren't exactly sure what they were going to learn from it, but they learned some stuff.
Dude, only in certain countries can you just be like, we're going to fucking dig a hole. Why are we shut up, we're digging a hole.
Yeah, dude.
What are we going to find? Shut up, we're digging a hole.
Soviet Russia in 1979 was probably the place to do it.
The place to do it.
Yeah. They eventually got to 49,000 feet deep.
I'm sorry, what did you just say to me?
They drilled a hole that goes 49,000 feet into the earth by the end of 1993.
That's like 9 miles.
Yes.
How big is this hole?
Okay, so on that Google link that you're looking at,
is this where they drilled the hole?
Yeah, if you look straight at the ground from that location that I sent you, there's a circle that has like a metal cap on top of it.
Sure is. It looks
That's
like
the fucking hole that goes 49,000 feet into the earth, and you can just see it on Google Street View. That hole goes 9 miles down into the earth, and they just welded it shut and left in 1993. And now the building around it has been destroyed, and it's just exposed.
Bro. Oh, it is. It's like in the dead center of these like 4 big fucking like cement blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, that are no more. You can just walk right up to a hole that goes 9 miles into the ground.
All right, we'll put a link to this.
It's on our Twitter.
Oh yeah, it's on our Twitter.
That's how you found it. Yeah.
Go to @WhatIfPod and look at this fucking fucked up. Bro, also, is there anything more quintessentially like it's like beautiful Russian countryside, and then it just looks like this dilapidated, fucked up like.
Well, yeah, when the Soviet Union broke up, they just left.
Bro, I want to go knock the cap off and shoot a bottle rocket down there and see what happens.
And wait.
Let's drop a GoPro down there with a really bright light on it and just see where it ends up. Maybe it lands like on our side of the world.
Maybe it connects to Mel's hole somewhere down there.
Mel!
Real quick to end, I'm just going to read from the Wikipedia for the super deep borehole about what they found once they drilled down there.
Uh-oh. Oh, I hate it. I got to go. I'm done.
The most intriguing discovery from the Kola borehole researchers is undoubtedly the detection of biological activities in rocks that are more than 2 billion years old.
Fuck off.
The clearest evidence of life came in the form of microscopic fossils encased in organic compounds that remained intact despite the extreme pressures and temperatures of the surrounding rock. While data produced from the drilling project continues to be analyzed, the drilling itself was stopped in the early 1990s when unexpectedly high temperatures were encountered. After about 10,000 feet, temperatures increased at a higher rate until they reached 356 degrees Fahrenheit at the bottom of the hole.
Yikes!
Also unexpected was a decrease in rock density after about 15,000 feet. Beyond this point, the rock had greater porosity and permeability, which paired with the high temperatures caused the rock to behave more like a plastic than a solid, making drilling nearly impossible.
Oh, because it was like fucking gummy.
Yeah. The rock was so hot and under such high pressure that they couldn't drill through it anymore because it wasn't really solid. But then they still went another 30,000 feet somehow, so I don't really understand that, but
that's fucked.
They were drilling through goo 356 degrees.
Is it one of those things where once you're at a certain point, you're not drilling anymore, you're just pushing?
Squishing.
You're just squishing through it. Like, well, it's just given, so we'll just keep it up.
And it's just sitting there.
Bro, I can't believe that that's just a thing that someone was like, oh, I'm just going to like take this photo.
It's one of about 3 places in that whole area of the world where there is Street View too, because someone obviously went and found it and then posted the pictures to Google. It's a remarkably high quality image too.
It's a perfect 360 degree fucking image.
Yeah.
Bro.
All right.
Do they think they found hell? Is that what they're saying? Is that what this is?
I mean, it's got to be the closest.
Did we tell the Greece story because Greece was hell, but they were like, JK, the Russians are actually the ones that
just
found
kidding.
hell?
You had to go another 40,000 feet roughly.
You know what I'll do? I'll fucking stay here. Thanks very much. That's what I'll do.
I'm going to go to Russia and find that hole to hell.
I'll stay on a relatively even field.
I'm going to throw a dead dog down and see if it comes back up alive.
Don't! Mel, you crazy, Mel. Mel, you crazy. Hey, all right, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate y'all so much. Couple quick things before we go. whatifpodcast.com/LA, Los Angeles, California, Nevada, fuck it, Washington, Oregon, come hang out with us. We need you. We love you. We're at the Satellite on October 30th in Los Angeles. It's going to be a really fun show with Dave Stone and Ian Abramson. whatifpodcast.com/LA. Get your tickets. They're selling. We want to see you there. If you want to leave us a voicemail, it's hi at whatifpodcast.com. Oh, that's an email. Just kidding. Voicemails are 612-246-4614. Join the Facebook group. There's a shitload of us in there. Just search for the What If Podcast. It's great. Thank you guys for all the sweet iTunes reviews. There's been some really nice ones lately, and we love you for it. Come follow us on social media. It's fun there, too. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Lydia Liza's record comes out on Friday. Go buy 2 copies of it.
Fight 10, you motherfuckers. We love you.